Nissan has finally listened to us. The new R36 GT-R will have an internal combustion engine. Despite the all-electric Hyperforce concept boasting 1,341 horsepower with E-Force all-wheel control, lightweight construction, and a solid-state battery, Nissan is not abandoning the internal combustion engine for the R36 just yet. It seems like most automakers are changing their plans on EVs. Mercedes, for example, is now heavily investing in internal combustion engine development and has scrapped plans to go fully electric. Audi and Porsche are also shifting strategies due to slower than expected demand for EVs, which is obviously great news for us enthusiasts. But back to the GT-R. As Nissan's iconic R35 GT-R nears the end of its current generation, the automotive community is rife with speculation. So far, the Japanese carmaker has been cryptic about the direction of the new model. Yet, a series of special edition run-out models suggest that the successor to the GT-R is on the horizon. We examine two distinct design directions the R36 GT-R could take and explore everything we know about it so far. The next GT-R's aesthetic is still being crafted, but it's expected to prioritize functionality while honoring its heritage with elements like the iconic quad tail lamps. In a recent interview with Top Gear, Matthew Weaver, Vice President of Design for Nissan in Europe, mentioned that regardless of the direction, the R36 will feature signature Godzilla elements. Weaver emphasized that the GT-R must excel in various aspects, including aerodynamics, speed, and performance, which will ultimately shape its design. He noted that the GT-R has never been about aesthetics, focusing instead on functionality. Reflecting on his experience with the previous model, he recalled the extensive time spent in wind tunnels, an effort unmatched by any other project. The next GT-R will continue this focus on performance while also incorporating signature Godzilla elements where possible. Our first design proposal, illustrated by Car Scoops, draws inspiration from the Hyperforce concept displayed at last year's Japan Mobility Show. It features a more subdued version of the concept's sharp wedge-like profile and includes active aerodynamic components like canards, a front lip, a rear spoiler, and fender vents. The second proposal merges a conservative muscle car aesthetic with design cues from Nissan's epic SUV concept, debuted at the recent Beijing Auto Show. While it incorporates elements from the Hyperforce concept, it leans more toward the look of the Z Coupe and American-made sports cars. The next Godzilla will maintain its driver-centric ethos, enhanced with ambient lighting and advanced digital interfaces reminiscent of those in the Gran Turismo video game series. Key features could include an augmented reality heads-up display, blending digital information across the entire windshield. Regarding the powertrain, Pons Pandakathira, Nissan America's Senior Vice President and Chief Planning Officer, hinted at a non-EV approach, potentially leveraging the brand's Formula E technology. This suggests the incorporation of a hybrid system, possibly paired with a heavily upgraded 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 from the new Infiniti XQ80. Considering that the least powerful motor used in Nissan's Formula E bolide makes 300 horsepower and the Infiniti XQ80 V6 produces 450 horsepower, we can expect the R36 to make at least 800 horsepower. The next GT-R will re-enter a fiercely competitive arena, facing off against the Chevrolet Corvette E-Ray, BMW M8 competition, and possibly the Porsche 911 Turbo S, which is expected to feature a hybrid powertrain in its facelifted version. I covered more details about this model in the second part of my video about the upcoming Porsche 911 GT2 RS, which you can find in the top right corner. The next generation GT-R is expected to be unveiled around 2027 as a 2028 model. Nissan will likely introduce one or more concept versions before the official launch. While the GT-R is certainly exciting, it's not the only sports car Nissan has promised. The Nissan Silvia, also known as the 200SX and 240SX in some markets, could also make a comeback. Although the company's global product boss acknowledged that reviving the Silvia would be challenging, he believes that they can make it work. Before we get into the details of that comeback, please consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoy the content. Now, let's continue. Ivan Espinosa, Vice President of Nissan's Global Product Strategy and Product Planning Division, discussed the far-fetched idea of a new Silvia positioned below the GT-R. He envisions it offering enough power at the right price to attract customers. Espinosa expressed his passion for reviving the Silvia, adding that the nameplate has many fans. The chances are there, but in the end, it's a business, so I need to find ways to make this sort of proposal interesting to the company. Sometimes cars like this do struggle a bit because the audience isn't that big, but it can work if we find the right idea that can run everywhere in the world, said Espinosa. He further added, "We cannot do these products regionally or as one-offs because it just doesn't make sense, but there is a chance it'll be a challenge, but it's my job to find ways to do stuff like this because I think it'll be great for customers and the brand, and if I can put the right formula in place, we could make it work." Reading between the lines, reasons, a new Silvia could join the Nissan Z as a more affordable and likely electrified sports car. This could position it as a direct competitor to the Toyota GR86, Subaru BRZ, and Mazda MX-5, as well as the upcoming Honda Prelude hybrid. Nissan has pledged to unveil 30 new models by 2026, including 16 EVs and hybrids, under the ARC business plan. While the exact timing of the Silvia's return is uncertain, it's likely to appear later, allowing ample time for development and market readiness. Emission regulations are getting stricter, and hybrids remain the only option for car makers to keep internal combustion engines. That's why the upcoming Huracan successor will ditch the naturally aspirated V10 engine for a V8 with an electrified powertrain. I explain more about this beast in this video, so check it out if you want to learn more. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.